The city of Eloria floated like a jewel among the stars. Its towers gleamed in silver and gold, reflecting the light of distant suns. Ships of all shapes and sizes moved gracefully between the spires, their engines leaving trails of soft blue and green. Humans and aliens walked side by side in the streets and gardens, exchanging greetings in dozens of different languages. The air was filled with a strange mix of scents, from blooming space flowers to the faint smell of ionized metal. Commander Jarn had never seen a city like this. He was a human envoy, sent to represent Earth at the Interstellar Alliance Summit. It was an honor, yes, but also a challenge. Humans were often underestimated by other species. They believed humans were clever, yes, but impulsive, reckless, and soft. Jarn had heard it all before. He had trained for this mission for years, but he still felt a small knot of nervousness as he walked through the palace gardens, where floating lights hovered like fireflies, and streams of water curved in midair. The palace itself was a marvel of engineering. It was built on a platform that floated hundreds of meters above the city, held up by powerful anti-gravity engines. Its walls were made of a translucent material that shimmered with the colors of the sky. Bridges connected different towers, allowing citizens to cross between them without ever touching the ground. And everywhere Jarn looked, he could see guards and palace staff moving with perfect precision. Jarn had been walking through the gardens, admiring the architecture and the strange beauty of alien flora. When he saw her, she stood near a fountain that seemed to float on thin streams of water, her figure framed by the light of the nearby towers. Her hair shone like silver in the sun, and her clothes were simple yet elegant, flowing like liquid silk. Her eyes were bright and intelligent, scanning the surroundings as if she noticed everything at once. "She's the most splendid princess I've seen," Jarn whispered to himself, unable to hide his awe. He had expected royalty to be formal, stiff, and distant. He had not expected someone who seemed alive in every movement, graceful yet alert, beautiful yet strong-eyed. As if she heard him, she turned her head toward him. Their eyes met. For a moment, the city, the fountain, the floating gardens all seemed to disappear. Jarn felt a strange calmness, as if time itself had paused. Princess Liara's gaze was steady. She did not smile, but there was no hostility either. Instead, there was curiosity, intelligence, and a hint of amusement. Jarn realized that she was not just a figure of beauty. She was a leader, someone who understood the world and the people in it. He quickly straightened his posture and stepped forward. "I am Commander Jarn," he said, his voice a little shakier than he wanted. "I represent Earth at the Interstellar Alliance." Liara inclined her head slightly, a gesture of acknowledgement. "I am Princess Liara of Rindia," she replied, her voice calm and clear. It had a soft, musical quality, but it carried authority. "Welcome to Eloria, Commander Jarn. You are far from home." "Yes," Jarn said, trying to sound confident. "It is an honor to be here, your city. It is more incredible than I imagined." Liara studied him for a moment, her eyes moving quickly as if measuring him. Then she nodded. "We take pride in our city, but more important than its beauty is its security. The summit begins soon. You will need to follow the protocols." Jarn felt a flicker of nervousness. Protocols, security. He was used to rules, yes, but he also knew that humans often had to act creatively when rules failed. He wondered if he would have a chance to show his abilities, or if the summit would be a long series of formal speeches and handshakes. "Of course," he said. "I will follow your instructions." Liara nodded again, and with a fluid movement, she began to walk away. Jarn followed, careful not to lose sight of her. As they moved, he noticed something surprising. She was not just walking, she was observing everything. The guards, the buildings, the floating drones in the sky, even the people in the distant streets. Every movement, every sound seemed to be recorded in her mind. It was then that Jarn realized something. Humans were often clever, but Liara was exceptional. And yet, she was only one person. Could a single individual, no matter how capable, manage a city of millions in times of danger? The palace gardens led to a wide open terrace that overlooked the city. From here, the view was breathtaking. The towers reflected the light of multiple suns, and the distant stars seemed close enough to touch. Jaron felt a sudden mixture of wonder and fear. In this city, surrounded by such beauty and power, he was just one human among thousands of alien species. Could he make a difference here? Could humans, in general, make a difference? Liara spoke, breaking his thoughts. Commander Jaron, will you be attending the welcome ceremony? Yes, he said. I would be honored. Good, she said, her eyes narrowing slightly as she glanced toward the horizon. But be prepared. Not everything here is as peaceful as it seems. Jaron frowned. What do you mean? Liara's gaze returned to him, sharp and serious now. There are forces in this city and beyond that would prefer chaos over cooperation. You are a guest here, Commander, but even guests can become targets if they are unprepared. Jaron felt a chill run down his spine. He had expected diplomacy to be difficult, but not dangerous. And yet, seeing Liara's calm confidence, he knew that she could handle any threat. Could he? Before he could ask more, a sharp sound echoed through the gardens, a small alarm, almost silent, but distinct to anyone paying attention. Liara's posture changed instantly. She was no longer just a princess, she was a commander. Her hand moved to a device at her waist, and a small drone rose from the ground near her. Its sensors scanned the area rapidly. Jaron's heart raced. What is happening? He asked. Liara's voice was steady. We may have an intruder. Stay close, Commander. Observe and learn, but do not interfere unless I tell you to. He nodded, understanding that this was more than a lesson, it was a test. Humans were often clever, yes, but they were also unpredictable. Could his skills matter here, in a city of technology and aliens? Under the guidance of a princess who was clearly brilliant, the drone hovered ahead, its sensors sweeping the garden. A shadow moved near one of the bridges. Liara's eyes tracked it instantly. There, she said quietly. See the movement? That is our intruder. Jaron squinted, trying to locate it. It was small, almost invisible, moving along the edge of the terrace. But Liara had already calculated its path, predicting its next move. She signaled the guards with a subtle gesture, and they moved silently to intercept. Jaron watched in awe. He had trained for years in military strategy, but this was different. Liara's approach was precise, elegant, and effective. There was no panic, no confusion, just control. The intruder was caught quickly, and Liara turned back to Jaron. See this? She said, even the smallest threat can be handled with the right strategy and calm mind. Never underestimate the value of observation and preparation. Jaron nodded, swallowing his awe. Yes, Princess. I understand. Liara's expression softened slightly. Good, you will need to understand more than that before the summit ends. Humans are clever, Commander, but cleverness alone will not be enough here. You must learn, adapt, and respect the rules of this city and its people. Jaron took a deep breath. He had never met anyone like her. Not only was she splendid in appearance, but her mind was sharp, her judgment flawless. And now, he realized, survival in this city and the success of humans at this summit depended on understanding her, working with her, and, perhaps, proving that humans could be more than clever, they could be extraordinary. As they walked toward the palace, Jaron stole one last glance at the floating gardens behind them. The city of Eloria shimmered like a star, beautiful, mysterious, and full of challenges. And at the heart of it all, Princess Liara moved with confidence and grace. A reminder that in this galaxy, humans were not yet at the center, but perhaps, with courage and ingenuity, they could be. Jaron's journey had begun. The sun of Eloria had started to set, casting a soft golden glow across the city. Jaron followed Princess Liara through the grand halls of the palace. The walls shimmered with embedded lights, giving the impression that the building itself was alive. Servants moved silently around them, carrying trays of food or guiding diplomats from distant worlds. Jaron noticed the calm efficiency everywhere, nothing seemed rushed. Yet everything was perfectly timed. Liara led him to a private chamber overlooking the city. It was spacious and elegant, but it was also a place of planning. Holographic maps floated in the air, showing star systems, patrol routes, and diplomatic routes across the city. Guards stood quietly near the walls, ready but unobtrusive. "We cannot waste time," Liara said, her voice calm but urgent. "The intruder you saw earlier is not acting alone. There are forces within this city and outside it that want to disrupt the summit." Jarn frowned. "Disrupt the summit? Who would do that?" Liara did not answer immediately. Instead, she tapped a control on the holographic map. A small cluster of red dots appeared near the city's lower levels. "We do not yet know their full plan," she said, "but these patterns indicate organized movement. Someone is preparing to strike, and it could endanger everyone here." Jarn felt a chill. He had expected diplomacy to be complicated, but danger? That was different. "How can we stop them?" he asked. Liara's eyes met his, steady and sharp. "We observe first. We learn who they are. Then we act. Impulse is dangerous in this city. Humans are clever, Commander, but cleverness alone is not enough." Jarn nodded, understanding. Humans were often praised for creativity, but the stakes here were higher than anything he had faced. "I will follow your instructions," he said. Liara studied him for a moment. "Good, but you must also think. Observation is not passive. You must anticipate, analyze, and adapt. Humans have a strength many species do not. They can improvise under pressure. I will need that from you." They left the chamber and moved into the palace corridors. Jarn noticed that everywhere they went, Liara's attention never wavered. She observed the movement of guards, servants, and even the smallest drones that patrolled the halls. She spoke quietly to a few of the guards, giving subtle orders that no one else noticed. "Princess," Jarn said quietly, "how do you notice everything at once?" Liara's lips curved slightly in what almost looked like a smile. "Practice, training, and necessity. When your life and your city depend on it, you learn to see the details. And sometimes, Commander, the smallest detail can make the difference between victory and failure." As they reached a balcony overlooking the city, Liara paused. Jarn could see the streets below, filled with ships and pedestrians. It all seemed peaceful, but he remembered her words. Not everything was as peaceful as it seemed. "Commander," she said softly, "watch carefully. You will learn more about the hidden threats of this city in the next few hours. Then you might in months elsewhere." Before he could respond, a sudden alarm echoed through the palace. A bright red light flashed in the corridors, and guards immediately moved into action. Liara's expression did not change. She gestured to Jarn. "Stay with me. Observe." They hurried through the halls, and Jarn noticed small groups of figures moving strangely in the distance. Shadows, too quick to identify. Guards intercepted them, and a faint commotion echoed in the corridors. Liara directed the operation, using gestures and quiet words, and the palace's automated systems responded instantly. After a tense few minutes, the commotion subsided. Liara turned to Jarn. "See what I mean? Even the most careful plan can be disrupted, but organization, preparation, and calm action can prevent disaster." Jarn nodded, impressed. He had trained in military operations on Earth, but this was different. Liara combined intelligence, observation, and leadership in a way he had never seen before. Humans were clever, yes, but this was extraordinary. They returned to the private chamber, where the holographic map still glowed. Liara tapped a red dot, and it expanded to show more details. "These intruders," she said, "are not working alone. There's a network, and some of their members may be inside the palace itself. We need to identify them before they strike." Jarn studied the map. "Do you want me to help?" he asked. "I mean, my skills humans can sometimes think differently, find things others miss." Liara looked at him carefully. "Yes, Commander. That is why I brought you here. Your ability to improvise could give us an advantage. Observe the patterns. Note anything unusual. And if you see something others do not, tell me immediately." Jarn nodded, excitement mixing with nervousness. He was no longer just a visitor. He had a role, and it mattered. For the next several hours, Jarn and Liara analyzed the movements of the palace staff, guards, and visitors. Jarn noticed patterns that others might overlook: the slight hesitation of a servant here, a drone taking an unusual route there, Liara listened to his observations, asking questions and offering insights. Together, they formed a clearer picture of the hidden threat. It is more organized than I thought. Jaron said finally. They are not just trying to sneak someone in. They want to create chaos during the summit. Liara nodded. Exactly. They aim to disrupt not just this city, but the entire interstellar alliance. If they succeed, humans will be blamed, and trust between species will collapse. That is why you must observe, analyze, and anticipate. Your creativity may prevent disaster. A sudden message appeared on Liara's holographic display. Intruder detected near the summit hall, she said, her eyes narrowing. Prepared to move, Jaron followed her as she led a small team toward the hall. The palace corridors seemed endless, yet Liara navigated them effortlessly. Every step was calculated, every movement precise. She paused at a corner, signaling the guards to spread out. They will try to move quickly. She whispered, "We cannot allow them to reach the main chamber." "Commander, stay alert." Jaron's heart pounded. This was no longer a drill. The intruders could strike at any moment. He moved carefully, following Liara's lead, scanning the area for anything unusual. As they approached the summit hall, they saw a figure slipping past a side entrance. It was fast, almost invisible, but Liara noticed immediately. She gestured, and the guards moved silently to intercept. The intruder paused, realizing they had been seen, but before they could escape, Liara stepped forward calmly. "Stop," she said. "You are not welcome here. Identify yourself." The figure froze, caught between escape and confrontation. Liara's presence was commanding, and yet calm. Jaron realized again that she was not just a princess. She was a protector, a leader, and a strategist all in one. The intruder finally spoke, their voice trembling. I mean no harm. I was sent to deliver a warning." Liara studied them closely. "A warning? To whom?" The intruder hesitated, then said, "The summit. There are those who will try to destroy it. Humans, Arandians. No one is safe." Liara nodded slowly. "We know. That is why we are watching. Commander, observe everything. We may have the first clue to their plan." Jaron took in every detail the intruder's expression. Their hesitation, their fear. He knew that humans often succeeded because they noticed what others overlooked. Perhaps, in this moment, his observations could help prevent a disaster that might change the galaxy. The intruder was escorted away for questioning, and Liara returned her attention to the map. "Commander," she said, "the threat is real, and it is closer than we thought. But knowledge is power. If we understand their plan, we can stop them before they strike." Jaron felt a rush of determination. Humans were often underestimated, but here, with Liara's guidance, he realized that their skills, creativity, quick thinking, courage could make a real difference. And in this city, under the light of distant stars, that difference might save not just a summit, but an entire alliance. As night fell over Eloria, the city's towers glowed softly, reflecting the calm before a storm. Jaron and Liara stood side by side, analyzing the map and preparing for what was to come. Both knew that the hidden threat was only the beginning, and that the challenges ahead would test not just human cleverness, but their courage, trust, and ingenuity. For Jaron, it was a lesson and a promise. Humans could be more than clever. They could rise to meet even the greatest threats of the galaxy. And with Princess Liara at his side, he was ready to prove it. The night over Eloria was calm, but Commander Jaron knew the peace was fragile. The city's towers glowed softly, reflecting on the streams of water that floated between buildings. Yet danger lingered in the shadows. He walked beside Princess Liara through the palace corridors, feeling the weight of responsibility. The intruder's warning had confirmed their fears. Someone planned to attack the summit. Liara led him to a smaller chamber, one that seemed designed for strategy rather than ceremony. Holographic maps floated in the air, showing the city's layers, streets, patrol routes, and hidden passages. Red dots marked points of interest. Jaron noticed that the red dots shifted almost like living things, responding to unseen movements. "This is where the real work begins," Liara said. Her tone was calm but firm. "We need to find the source of the threat and stop it before it reaches the summit." Jarn studied the map carefully. Princess, these routes. They're unusual. Whoever is moving through them must know the palace very well. Liara nodded. Exactly. They are insiders or have insider knowledge. That makes them more dangerous. Humans often think in unexpected ways. I will need you to do just that, think beyond what is obvious. Jarn felt a spark of determination. Humans had strengths that many species underestimated. They could improvise, adapt, and act unpredictably. In this situation, those qualities might make the difference between failure and success. Liara gave him a subtle gesture. Follow me. Observe, and be ready to act. They moved through the palace corridors, quiet and alert. Guards flanked them, but Jarn noticed how Liara did not rely solely on them. She observed every detail herself, a flicker of movement, a shadow in a hallway, the faint hum of a drone. It was as if she could read the palace like a living organism. Suddenly, a small door at the end of a corridor slid open with a hiss. Liara motioned for Jarn to stop. There, she whispered. Do you see it? Jarn squinted and spotted a faint silhouette moving behind crates. He took a cautious step closer. Yes, Princess. It's too fast to follow normally. Liara's lips curved slightly. Exactly. We need a different approach. She pulled a small device from her belt. A holographic net expanded in the air, forming a grid over the corridor. This will slow them down, she said. But we need someone clever to predict their next move. That's you, Commander. Jarn's heart raced. His hands trembled slightly, but he forced himself to focus. He had trained in improvisation drills on Earth, and now it was time to put them to use. Watching the intruder's shadow, he predicted their path, a narrow passage behind the crates that led to a maintenance hatch. Princess, he whispered, they'll try the hatch. If we block it from the other side, we can trap them. Liara's eyes narrowed, impressed. Good, move quickly. I will coordinate the guards. Jarn sprinted down the side corridor. Using his knowledge of human agility and speed, he reached the hatch just before the intruder, sliding a magnetic bar across it to lock it. A faint hiss indicated the hatch was secure. The intruder's path was blocked. Liara stepped forward, her expression calm but commanding. Step out slowly, she said. You are caught. The intruder froze, eyes wide with fear. Guards appeared silently from the shadows surrounding them. Liara studied the figure for a moment, then nodded to the guards. Take them for questioning. Jarn felt a rush of satisfaction. His quick thinking had made a real difference. Liara looked at him, her expression a mix of approval and respect. Humans are clever in ways many species cannot anticipate, she said. Your contribution just proved it. He nodded, feeling a swell of pride. Humans were often underestimated, but in this moment, their creativity and quick thinking were essential. The intruder had been captured, but Liara knew the threat was far from over. She gestured to Jarn to follow her back to the strategy chamber. We need to understand why they acted now, and who sent them. There's a larger network at work. Jarn watched as Liara analyzed the intruder's movements, cross-referencing them with the city's patrol routes. Her mind was sharp, but she also relied on his insights. Commander, note anything unusual about their behavior, she instructed. Jarn studied the intruder's path, the speed of their movement, and the way they avoided certain sensors. They knew the drone's blind spots, he said, and they avoided pressure plates in the floor. Someone taught them very carefully. Liara nodded. Yes, this was not a random attack. It was planned, precise, and intended to test our defenses. That means the next move could be more dangerous. Jarn felt a shiver. The stakes were rising. Humans often thrived under pressure, thinking creatively where others failed. He hoped he could continue to make a difference. Liara activated a communication link with the palace's surveillance system. Holographic screens appeared, showing multiple areas of the city. We need to cover all possible entry points to the summit, she said. Jarn, I want you to help me analyze these patterns. We need to predict where the next intruder might appear. Hours passed as they worked side by side. Jarn noticed something fascinating. Liara's mind combined the precision of Aranian strategy with his human-style improvisation. When she noticed a blind spot in their surveillance, Jarn suggested a solution. using a small drone from the maintenance hall. We're routing it to cover the area. Brilliant, Liara said, her voice calm but approving. Sometimes the solution is not obvious, but humans can see it because you do not think linearly. I like that, Jaron smiled. He felt for the first time that humans were truly valued here not as guests, but as partners. As midnight approached, a faint signal appeared on the city map. Red dots flickered in the lower levels, suggesting movement. Liara's eyes narrowed. They are trying again, she said. This time, they aimed for the summit hall itself. Jaron felt a surge of adrenaline. The summit hall was heavily guarded, but the intruders' knowledge of the palace made them dangerous. Princess, we can set traps in the side corridors and guide them into a safe interception zone, he suggested. Liara's expression softened slightly. Exactly. Humans think in ways that Arendians might not. Your ideas will help prevent disaster. Together, they moved swiftly, placing sensors, guiding drones, and coordinating guards. Jaron's ability to improvise complemented Liara's precise strategies. They worked seamlessly, their combined strengths creating a powerful defense. Finally, everything was in place. Liara nodded at Jaron. Now, we wait, observe, and be ready to act. Minutes later, shadows moved in the corridors. The intruders had returned, more cautious but determined. As they approached the summit hall, they triggered the sensors. Alarms remained silent, but the holographic net activated, slowing their movement. Guards appeared from hidden positions, surrounding them. Jaron's eyes scanned for anything unusual. One intruder tried to slip past a drone, but Jaron anticipated it, redirecting the drone to block their escape. Liara stepped forward, commanding the situation with calm authority. Within minutes, the intruders were contained, unable to reach the summit. Liara turned to Jaron, her eyes reflecting approval. See, Commander? Human ingenuity combined with Arendian precision can prevent disaster. You have proven that humans are more than clever, they are valuable partners. Jaron felt a surge of pride. He had begun this mission as a visitor, unsure of his place. Now, standing beside Princess Liara, he realized that humans could contribute in ways that even the most advanced species could not predict. The city remained calm, its towers glowing softly in the night. The summit would begin without disruption, thanks to the combined efforts of a human and a princess. Jaron felt a quiet satisfaction. Humans were not only clever, they could lead, protect, and make a real difference when it mattered most. Liara studied him for a moment, a small smile appearing on her face. You have potential, Commander, more than I expected. Keep observing, keep thinking, and you may surprise even yourself. Jaron nodded, understanding the weight of her words. Humans had always faced doubt from other species, but here, in the city of Eloria, they had a chance to prove their true value. The night deepened, and the city slept, unaware of the danger it had narrowly avoided. Jaron and Liara remained in the strategy chamber, planning their next moves. The hidden threat was not gone, it was only delayed. But with human ingenuity and Arendian precision, they had a chance to face whatever came next. For Jaron, this was more than a mission. It was proof that humans, underestimated and overlooked, could rise to meet challenges that seemed impossible. And as he looked at Princess Liara, he realized that together, they could face the unknown and succeed. The next day, Eloria seemed calm under the light of its twin suns. Citizens moved about their routines, ships glided smoothly between the towers, and the floating gardens shimmered in gentle hues of green and blue. But Commander Jaron knew better. Beneath this calm surface, a storm was brewing. The intruders from the previous night were not acting alone. They were only the first wave of a much larger threat. Princess Liara met Jaron early in the morning in the strategy chamber. Her silver hair caught the morning light, and her eyes were sharp with determination. Commander, she said, our intelligence confirms that the attackers have reinforcements. Their goal is the summit itself. If they succeed, they could destroy not just the Alliance meeting, but the city. Jaron felt a rush of tension. The summit hall had already been protected once, but this new attack promised far greater danger. What can we do? He asked. Liara's gaze met his. We fight smart. Humans are clever, Commander. But this time your ability to improvise will be tested like never before. We need to combine our strength, serenity, and strategy and human adaptability. Jarn nodded. For the first time, he felt the real weight of responsibility. Humans were often underestimated, but here, his actions could save hundreds, maybe thousands of lives. They left the chamber and moved swiftly through the palace corridors. Guards flanked them, but Liara did not rely solely on them. Every movement was deliberate. Every step was calculated. Jarn noticed how she scanned the walls, ceilings, and even the small maintenance passages. She did not leave anything to chance. Suddenly, a warning flashed on the holographic map. Red dots appeared near the outer perimeter of the summon hall. "They're coming," Liara said. Her voice was calm, but Jarn could sense urgency beneath it. They moved into the control room above the summon hall. Holographic panels displayed live feeds from every camera in the palace. Jarn quickly noticed something. The intruders were using a path that no human or Arendian had expected. They were exploiting minor blind spots in the palace's defenses. "Princess," Jarn said, pointing to the screen, "they are using the maintenance shafts under the hall. If we block the main doors, they will still reach the summit through these passages." Liara studied the display, then nodded. "Good observation. Humans think differently. That is why you are here. We need to act fast. I will command the palace guards to secure the main entrances, but you will take a small team and block the shafts. Can you do that?" Jarn felt a surge of determination. "Yes, Princess. Lead the way." They gathered a small unit of guards and prepared equipment. Jarn's heart raced as they moved through hidden corridors toward the maintenance shafts. Every step was tense. The faint hum of machinery echoed through the passages, masking the subtle movements of the approaching intruders. As they reached the shafts, Jarn quickly scanned the area. Using his human ingenuity, he identified weak points where they could place portable barriers and small automated traps. These devices would delay the intruders, giving the guards more time to respond. "Place the barriers here," he instructed. "Then move to the side exits to cover the retreat. They will try to use every route, so we must anticipate each step." Liara watched closely, her expression calm but focused. "Excellent. This is exactly what humans excel at, improvising solutions under pressure. Now, execute quickly." The intruders arrived faster than expected. Shadows moved through the narrow shafts, their movements precise and silent. Jarn activated the barriers, and a low hum signaled the traps were online. The intruders paused, trying to find another route, but Jarn's team blocked every exit. Liara's voice came through the comlink. "Commander, remember, observe first, then act. We cannot afford mistakes." Jarn's mind raced. He had trained for improvisation drills, but now it was real. One intruder tried to bypass a barrier by climbing over a pipe, but Jarn quickly adjusted a nearby drone to hover above, blocking their path and emitting a warning pulse. The intruder froze, caught between barriers and drones. The battle continued in silence. Every intruder that tried to advance was delayed by Jarn's quick thinking. Liara coordinated from above, directing guards to intercept and secure the summit hall. The intruders were strong and determined, but Jarn's human ingenuity, combined with Arendian precision, kept them contained. After several tense minutes, the intruders were trapped in the shafts, unable to reach their target. Liara's voice came through again, calm but with a hint of approval. "Well done, Commander. Humans are often underestimated, but you have proven your value. You may have saved the summit and the city today." Jarn felt a rush of pride, but he knew the threat was not over. The intruders were only a part of a larger network. Someone, somewhere, had planned this attack. But for the first time, he realized that humans could stand on equal footing with the galaxy's most advanced species. Liara descended to the shafts to inspect the situation. Her eyes scanned the trapped intruders, noting their hesitation and fear. "They underestimated us," she said quietly. "They did not expect a human to anticipate their moves. That was their mistake." Jarn followed her, feeling both pride and responsibility. "Princess," he said, "we may have delayed them, but there could be more. We need to find the source of this attack." Liara nodded. "Agreed. But first, we secure the summit. Then we hunt for the leaders behind this plot. And Commander, she added, her eyes meeting his. You will be at the forefront of that mission. Your creativity, your quick thinking, these will be invaluable. Jarn swallowed his fear and nodded. I am ready, Princess. I will do whatever it takes. The summit hall was secure. Delegates arrived, unaware of how close danger had come. Liara and Jarn observed from a secure chamber above, their eyes scanning every monitor. The city seemed calm, but they both knew better. The network behind the intruders was still active, still dangerous. Hours passed as they analyzed data, tracking unusual movements across the city. Jarn noticed patterns that suggested the attackers were coordinating with someone inside the palace. Princess, he said, pointing to the screen, look at these signals. They are trying to communicate with someone within the summit hall. We need to find that person. Liara studied the data, her eyes narrowing. Good catch, Commander. Humans can see things others overlook. We will identify them before they can act. They move quickly, coordinating a small team to investigate the source of the signals. Using a combination of technology and strategy, they discovered a minor official attempting to tamper with communications equipment. The official was apprehended quietly, ensuring the summit continued without disruption. Liara turned to Jarn, a small smile appearing on her face. See, Commander, your observations and quick thinking prevented a potential disaster. Humans are clever, adaptable, and resourceful. Today, you have proven that humans can match and sometimes exceed the abilities of even the most advanced species. Jarn felt a surge of pride. He had come to Eloria as a visitor, unsure of his place, and now he had proven that humans could make a real difference. The trust between him and Liara had grown, and he knew that together they could face any challenge. As night fell over the city, Liara and Jarn stood on a balcony overlooking the summit hall. The twin suns had set, and the towers glowed softly in the night. The city seemed calm, almost peaceful, but both of them knew that danger was never far away. Commander, Liara said quietly, humans are often underestimated. But today, you have shown that courage, creativity, and quick thinking can change the course of events. Remember this. Humans are capable of extraordinary things when they are prepared and focused. Jarn nodded. I will remember, Princess, and I will continue to stand by your side, whatever comes next. Liara's expression softened slightly. Good, the galaxy is full of challenges, Commander. But together, humans and Arendians can face them. You have proven that today. The night deepened, and the city slept under the watchful eyes of its protectors. The summit had been saved, but the hidden threat was far from over. Jarn and Liara knew that their greatest challenges lay ahead. But for the first time, Jarn felt confident. Humans were not just clever, they were capable of extraordinary heroism. And with Princess Liara at his side, they were ready for whatever the galaxy would throw at them next. The sun rose over Eloria, casting a golden glow across the floating towers and gardens. The city sparkled like a jewel among the stars. But the calm of morning could not hide the tension that lingered from the night before. Commander Jarn stood beside Princess Liara on a balcony overlooking the city. Together, they had thwarted the intruders and secured the summit hall. But the larger threat still remained. Liara turned toward Jarn, her expression calm but serious. Commander, she said, the attacks last night were only the beginning. The network behind them is larger than we expected. They will try again, and we must be ready. Jarn nodded. He felt a mixture of determination and anticipation. Humans had been underestimated for centuries, but here, in this city among the stars, he had learned that their ingenuity, courage, and quick thinking could match any species. We will stop them, Princess, he said firmly. Liara's eyes reflected approval. Good. Today, we act not just to defend the summit, but to prevent a war. If this network succeeds, humans, Arendians, and many other species could be blamed. We cannot allow that. The palace was alive with activity. Guards moved efficiently, drones patrolled the corridors, and holographic screens displayed information about every corner of the city. Jarn followed Liara as she led a small team through the palace's strategic corridors. Their destination, the city's central defense hub, where the team could monitor and coordinate every movement in real time. As they arrived, Liara tapped the control panel, bringing up live feeds of multiple locations. Red alerts flickered, indicating movement in several areas. "They are moving faster than before," Liara said, her voice calm but focused. "Commander, we need your insights. Humans see patterns differently. Notice anything unusual?" Jarn leaned closer to the display. "Princess, look at the routes they are taking. They're splitting into smaller groups and using hidden maintenance pathways to avoid detection. They want to divide our forces and reach the summit simultaneously from different points." Liara nodded. "Excellent observation. We will use that knowledge. Divide and coordinate. Humans' adaptability can counter their strategy." They quickly organized a response. Some guards were assigned to guard the main entrances, while Jarn led a small team to intercept the intruders in the hidden pathways. Liara coordinated from the central hub, issuing precise instructions with calm authority. As they moved through the maintenance shafts, Jarn noticed the intruders ahead. They were fast, but not careful enough to anticipate human ingenuity. "Princess," he whispered through the comlink, "they'll try to use the junction ahead to bypass us. If we block it and create a diversion, we can trap them completely." Liara's approval came instantly. "Do it. Your plan is sound. Humans often see what others miss. Execute quickly." Jarn's team sprang into action. They placed portable barriers and deployed small drones to hover above the junction. When the intruders reached the junction, they paused, unsure of the new obstacles. One tried to climb over a barrier, but Jarn anticipated the move and redirected a drone to block the escape path. The intruders were trapped. Liara's voice came through the comlink. "Excellent work, Commander. Keep them contained until the guards arrive." Within minutes, the intruders were intercepted. They struggled briefly, but were quickly subdued. Jarn allowed himself a small sense of satisfaction. Humans have been underestimated for too long, but today, their creativity and quick thinking had made a real difference. However, the network's leaders remained unknown. Liara turned to Jarn, her gaze sharp. "This was only a test," she said. "The true challenge lies ahead. Someone orchestrated these attacks. We must find them before they strike again." Jarn felt a surge of determination. He had come to Eloria as a visitor, unsure of his place among the galaxy's most advanced species. Now, beside Liara, he realized that humans could rise to any challenge when courage and intelligence were combined. Using information from the captured intruders, Liara and Jarn traced the signals to a hidden base on the outskirts of the city. "They have technology capable of interfering with palace systems," Liara explained. "If we don't act, the summit and the city could be in grave danger." Jarn nodded. "Then we stop them." Together, they led a small strike team to the hidden base. Moving silently, they approached the facility under cover of shadows. Jarn's human instincts for improvisation proved vital. When sensors detected their presence, he quickly redirected their drones to create distractions, allowing the team to advance undetected. Inside the base, the network's leaders were coordinating their next move. Liara and Jarn observed from a control corridor, analyzing patterns and preparing to strike. "Princess," Jarn whispered, "if we cut their communication lines, they'll be disoriented. We can disable their system without direct confrontation." Liara's eyes lit up with approval. "Good thinking, Commander. Humans' unconventional strategies often work where others fail." "Do it." Jarn led the team to the communication hub. Using improvised tools, they disrupted the network system, causing alarms to flash and confusion to spread among the intruders. Liara's guards moved swiftly, containing them before they could react. Within minutes, the threat was neutralized. The network's leaders were captured, their plans exposed. Jarn felt a surge of pride not just for his own actions, but for the human ingenuity that had made the difference. Liara turned to him, a rare smile on her face. "Commander Jarn, today you and your people have proven something remarkable. Humans are clever, brave, and capable of extraordinary problem-solving. The galaxy underestimates you at its own risk." Jarn felt a quiet sense of accomplishment. He had come to Eloria uncertain, unsure of humans' place among the stars. Now, beside Princess Liara, He knew that humans could stand shoulder to shoulder with the galaxy's most advanced civilizations. The summit began without further incident. Delegates from multiple worlds gathered, unaware of how close disaster had come. Liara gave a speech highlighting the importance of cooperation, trust, and ingenuity. She made a special mention of human courage and resourcefulness. Praising their role in defending the city and the summit, Jarn watched from the side, feeling both pride and humility. Humans had often been underestimated, but here, their actions had made a tangible difference. He realized that bravery and intelligence, combined with trust and teamwork, could achieve what seemed impossible. After the summit, Liara invited Jarn to walk with her through the floating gardens. The city glimmered under the stars, streams of water reflecting the light in soft patterns. For a moment, they walked in silence, enjoying the calm after the storm. "You did well today, Commander," Liara said softly. "Humans are not only clever, they are capable of inspiring confidence and hope. Your actions saved lives and prevented a crisis." Jarn smiled. "Thank you, Princess. I only did what humans do best: think, adapt, and act when needed. But I couldn't have done it without your guidance." "You are remarkable." Liara's eyes softened. "We make a good team. Humans and Arandians, together, can face any challenge. This is only the beginning, Commander. The galaxy is full of threats and opportunities. But today, we prove that trust and collaboration can overcome even the greatest dangers." Jarn nodded, feeling a deep sense of connection and purpose. Humans had come a long way, from being underestimated by the galaxy to being recognized as a vital part of interstellar cooperation. And with allies like Liara, they could achieve even more. As the night deepened, they stood on a balcony overlooking the city. Ships moved gracefully among the towers, citizens went about their lives, and the floating gardens shimmered under the moonlight. The city was safe, the summit successful, and the threat neutralized for Jarn. This was more than a mission. It was a confirmation that humans could rise to greatness, not just through strength, but through ingenuity, courage, and trust. And Princess Liara, the most splendid and capable leader he had ever met, had shown him the power of collaboration. The galaxy was vast, full of dangers and wonders. But as the stars shone brightly above, Jarn knew one thing: humans were no longer underestimated. They were capable of extraordinary things. And together with allies like Liara, they could face the universe with confidence, courage, and brilliance. A new dawn had arrived, not just for Aloria or for the summit, but for humans in the galaxy. And as the city slept under the watchful stars, Jarn whispered quietly to himself, "This is only the beginning.